New print issue of Press Box is available. Get to your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. It's not Kevin Brown's fault. I know that much. It's not what happened yesterday.
Sure? I don't know. He had a cold all week.
Yeah, it's not his fault. He and Jim were fired up. He's on the cover of this print issue of Press Box, which is available now. It's also our annual travel issue with lots of great summer sports tourism ideas for you and your family throughout the state of Maryland. Go pick that up for free at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Pressbox, and read it all for free at PressBoxOnline.com. Let's talk about something more pleasant. The United States is going to win the World Cup. That's a fact. We're doing that. First, they got to play one tonight against Türkiye. It's nice. Nice to have these games that are glorified friendlies. Really nice to be able to have some of those because it doesn't actually matter. U.S. is already locked into their spot in the round of 32, has already won the group. Let's talk more about what we've seen and what's to come. Joining us now, at one point, the all-time leading scorer in United States soccer history, a Hall of Famer, a Montgomery County native. Now he's part of the United broadcasts. He's Mr. Bruce Murray, and he is with us here on GCR. Bruce, it's Glenn here in Baltimore. It's a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time for us, sir.
Oh, man, thank you so much for having me, Glenn. Enjoy your work, and can't wait to see what comes out of the game tonight.
I am, I'm having some fun with the fact that this one doesn't matter, but obviously it presents maybe one of the more pleasant problems that we've ever dealt with, right, in the history of U.S. soccer, which is we get to talk about things like rest versus rust and who should play and who shouldn't play, and things we're just not really used to when it comes to U.S. soccer at the World Cup. I know Christian Pulisic says he's good. There's been a lot of talk about what to do with the yellow card guys. What is your strategy, and is there any concern for you about whether sitting guys could affect momentum going into the knockout rounds?
I don't have any problem with momentum. These guys are playing at top 5 European League teams. Fitness has zero to do with this. There's absolutely no possible positive result to play Tim Ream, for example, Weston McKennie, Sergio Dest. Those are guys that are fighters, and they'll take the bait. I'm not talking about Tim Ream as much, but Sergio Dest loves a fight, and so does Weston McKennie. And I don't want to see those guys shelved with a card or, a double card or a red card.
I think that's the easiest answer. I think there's no choice, and I think we know that's the stretch, the route that they're going to go with it, and I think it makes all the sense in the world to say that that's the case. And on the flip side, right, I guess the question becomes, are you asking the guys who do play to just sort of go out and have a nice walk in the park tonight? Like, are you saying to those guys, hey, don't do anything, don't be too aggressive, don't get hurt, 0-0 would be wonderful? Like, how do you handle what you're asking of the guys who do play, again, to try to mitigate risk?
Yeah, when you go out and you tell players to ease up, that's when you're going to get hurt. I mean,
okay.
It's like National Football League. There's no way. You got to play. Once you're on the field, you got to play. The key is get the guys who need to be off the field. That's the key, really. It's the coaching staff. This is all on them today. All right. If you see, and I see Matt Freese in goal. I think that's a good idea, just because he's going to be getting shots. Turkey is a pretty good shooting team. I think they've already put together 26 shot combinations. So, yeah, I mean, but yeah, you can't send out even your second team guys, substitutes, and say, take it easy, because that is just a recipe for disaster.
Bruce, I wonder what you make of everybody's very fired up, and rightfully so, right? Like they have the U.S. has looked wonderful, and particularly obviously in the 2 first halves. There is a flip side argument of, but hey, this is a 48-team World Cup. And, the groups were not going to be quite as daunting because of that. And we don't know for sure that you've really proved that you've played like a world-class type of program as much as you've just handled your business. Where is the line for you between what we've seen in these 2 matches has been about the U.S. and what we've seen has been about their 2 opponents?
So I think it's all about the U.S. for me, because they have – for the last couple of games, for some reason before the World Cup, I mean, things were a little sketchy, but now they get Dest and they get A-Rob on the other side, and those are two fullbacks that nobody in this World Cup has gotten far forward as our fullbacks. I mean, they are in the box. They're forcing our wingers to go inside. What that does, it creates overloads, right? And now we're pinging the ball around and creating shots. Balogun can focus on just working the box, right? He's not a skill guy that's going to beat you on the dribble. Balogun is a guy that needs service, and by getting those fullbacks up, it's brilliant, and nobody has been able to deal with it at this point.
So do you think that still can translate even as you move forward, and whether it's Egypt or Belgium, or if you're moving on, you believe they can have similar success doing that against some of the better countries that are left?
I definitely do.
Wow.
I think it's all coming together now. Our guys that have supposed to contribute or do the contributing, like Balogun and Pepe, and just it's great to see, Glenn. But we got a lot of questions, obviously, in the center of the back.
Right.
You don't want
Right.
Richard sitting on a yellow. He has got to sit out. There's no way. If he's on the field, I mean, I'd rather see the hot dog vendor out there than Chris Richard.
I mean, he's
hit him up, give him a pair of boots, and put him out there because Chris Richards, that guy is, if you look at the numbers right now.
I think he's been their best player.
Oh, he is. He's been their best. Plus, in terms of center backs in the World Cup, he's got the most completed passes, most tackles. It's amazing.
Bruce Murray, the Hall of Famer, Maryland's own, with us here on GCR as we're talking World Cup. You bring up the defense, and I do believe defense goaltending was probably the biggest concern that we all had going into the World Cup about this team. Selfishly, we've known Alex Freeman for a while. Obviously, I've known his father for forever, and I've been talking to him the last few weeks and years, and it's just amazing to see what he's been doing. How much of that concern still lingers for you, Bruce, about the defense against some of the more powerful strikers that you could see in the knockout round? And then as you bring up Freeze, who still, it feels like I'm not sure that I know the answer as to whether or not Matt Freeze is a true class international keeper.
Yeah, you and me both. I mean, Matt Freeze, I see him quite a bit in the MLS and us calling games. And I see him do some brilliant things, and I've seen him do some really crazy things. I tried to trap a ball at midfield against DC United. I'm like, oh my God. And it got away from him. So I'm thinking, no way, that is not Courtois back there. But at the same time, he's done everything to get my confidence that he is going to be able to handle things when they get a little bit. I'd like to see a little more communication out of him. But Tim Ream, for example, he got hammered by the crowd, right before the World Cup. He's old and this and that. You tell me if you've seen seen Ream put a foot wrong so far. I haven't seen it.
Nope.
And so what I see is a guy who's a veteran who needs a lot of help around him, because pace kills in this game. It kills in the NFL. It kills everywhere. But pace, and he doesn't have that pace. But guess what? He's getting all kinds. He's pulling guys in to help. It's amazing. It's Tim Ream is doing what a quality center back does at the end of his career. He's getting help. He's asking for help, and he's running the show back there.
You mentioned that, and I just want to keep praising Alex Freeman because Baltimore native. That's what we do. That to me was the thing that maybe I missed in his game, right? Like, I obviously scoring the goal is super cool, but that's not his game, right? Like, that's just not what he does. He's going to make some mistakes from time to time. Obviously, early on in the Australia match, he made a bad mistake in the first couple of minutes, but it's the recovery and obviously his athleticism and his speed at a young age that I think has really wowed me, that he can make up for some of those errors and be in position. And like the clearance against Australia was brilliant even before he scored the goal.
Yeah, that's a great point, Glenn. His pace back there is you just can't. I mean, you can pull. I mean, maybe Daku is maybe one of the only guys that I can think of, Belgium, that would be able to get past him on a pretty regular basis. But Daku roasts the best fullbacks in the world. I wouldn't worry about that. But Freeman's been a real eye opener. I knew he had a shot when I saw him play last year in MLS. I'm thinking to myself, this kid can play, man. But then is Pochettino going to go with the foreign contingent? They got to be playing in Europe. But it looked like, and at this point with Berhalter in the middle, he'll play today. Just he's a real agitator. It's clear that Pochettino is going back to his roots and what he did as a player. He was as a hard pressed, hard nosed midfielder, and I see him saying, "I just want to get the best guys. I don't care where they play," and I think that's fantastic.
Bruce, you're pretty bullish about this group being able to do this against some of the best teams. Like we joke about the idea of them winning. I am still not there, right? Like I am still, man. This group gets to the quarterfinals. I'll call it a win. I'll call it a. Where are you as far as where your expectations are?
My expectations are high. I won't give you like where I think they'll end up, but what I would say to you is this is a tournament. This isn't the Premier League. We're not playing 38 games, or if you play at Man City or a bigger team, you're going to play Champions League. So you play like 55 games a year to show people what that's your barometer right there. We have to do 5 or 6 games in the World Cup, right? You got a goalie that needs to be hot. You got to have a goal scorer, right? We have Balogun. We have a goalkeeper who's done well so far. We've had a middle of the park. Our spine is good all the way up. And so for me, this is a tournament. If you look at it as a tournament, who says we can't win it? I mean,
I get it.
Tiger Woods goes to every golf tournament, or did back in the day, and he said, "Hey," he says, "why would I be here if I'm not here to win?" And I think that has to be the mindset of the United States of America. And the last point on that is the crowd. Being playing in your home field advantage is massive. And anybody that tells you, "Oh no, he's a professional player and they're going to play good no matter what," no, the crowd is 100% a difference maker. 100%.
How many teams at this point do you feel like are capable of winning this tournament, Bruce?
I think there's probably about 10 teams, and I'll give you my wild card team, the most skillful from the center back. You can't tell the center back from the center forward for this team. Japan
Wow.
is absolutely phenomenal on the ball. You saw how they came back against the Netherlands. They don't give up, and I think Japan can go quite a ways.
I was going to ask you about the 48 team thing. Obviously, it's been great, to have a lesser group and builds up some of the excitement for the U.S., but I feel like maybe the beauty for this tournament is it has, at least in part, and I don't want to take anything away from these players because these players are great and maybe they'd be doing this, but by allowing there to be a little bit more lesser competition, we've seen all of the stars shine. All
Yeah.
of the stars look phenomenal, score goals, get everyone excited, more of the casual observer. If I can see Leo Messi score a couple of goals one day, Ronaldo score a couple of goals another day, and the whole group, everybody but Luka Modric, unfortunately, like it feels like that has been kind of ingenious for getting more of the casual sports fan invested, watching, excited about seeing the superstars, and now you're going to get a great knockout tournament to follow.
There's no question about it. It's stroke of brilliance. Actually, I would say that number one, all sports fans know all about World Cup stuff. I mean, like if you're a parent, you're a parent now. You played soccer growing up, like from '94 to now. I mean, everybody. You see the conversations when Diego Luna gets dropped. You see 3 guys in the park. 3 old guys talking about it like they're experts on soccer, and that's fantastic. That's what we need, is to have this conversation constantly. But what this World Cup has achieved is it's shown that there is no team, no country that can be really an underdog anymore. You look at Cape Verde, the 2 games against Uruguay and Spain, those are heavyweights, massive club, massive teams, right? And Cape Verde, those guys defended like it was the last game they were ever going to play. And if you can't be a fan of soccer after watching that, it's amazing. And I've met people that are super, Ravens fans, and super Commanders fans during this process, and they're like, Cape Verde, we love them. They play good. It's just it's good to hear. For example, Haiti to me. I walked in this World Cup. There's no Haiti who's Haiti?
Yeah.
And then we didn't play Haiti. We played like Costa Rica, like bigger teams. But Haiti reminds me of a bunch of guys playing pickup down in Miami. It's just and they don't care. They just take off. And Scotland in the first game looked like, what is this? Who are these guys? And
That's cool.
that's what this game's all about, man. If you're going to grow the game, you got to have underdogs and you got to have a lot of excitement. And so far, the World Cup has produced.
I'll add too, and obviously, I've had no reason to have any affinity for Mexico soccer whatsoever, right? Like, not even a little bit. But man, last night when they put Ochoa in, I got goosebumps, Bruce. I got goosebumps with that 80,000 people all losing their minds. It was beautiful.
I agree. What a storyline. And then, the guys that, playing, and how about Ronaldo scoring in his 6th World Cup? I mean, I scored a goal just in a World Cup. And that's like a moonshot, right? Or that's like getting on a Zamboni. Who's ever done that? But I mean, this guy, I mean, you got to be kidding me. And also with Ronaldo, what's interesting is there's a storyline that's shaped up. He's been criticized for, being greedy and this and that, but now everything he's saying is we, and maybe he's just figured it out at 41 that instead of being like trying to be the best player in the world, in order to do this one, you've got to be a part of we. And I think that's just a great lesson for kids to look at. And honestly, it's just been a World Cup that has just delivered.
Hey, Bruce, before I let you go, because we don't talk about it a lot, but I wonder your thoughts on the calendar change for MLS. And obviously, whenever you have a moment like this for American soccer, there's going to be the immediate follow-up of what can this mean? How does MLS capitalize on this? How do you move forward and benefit from it? What were your thoughts on the decision to make the calendar change, and will it ultimately prove to be truly beneficial for the league?
I 100% believe it, and they did the right thing. They had to do it. I mean, if you want to be taken seriously, you got to get on the same calendar. I also think, that this can open up the MLS to opportunities. You have Champions League, right? Who says that one day Champions League might say, let's get 2 teams out of MLS, because MLS has 60 players or 55 players in the World Cup right now. They're not a Power 5 league, but guess what? When they do can they be a part of the Champions League? So I think it has to be done, and I think it was a good thing. And it's not going to be like comfortable for some of the fans and people that watch other sports and this and that. But I think that it's something they had to do, to be honest with you.
Oh, we're gonna be cold. It's gonna be cold. Like, that's gonna happen. But hell, it's been hot as hell. I know you know how hot it's been at times over these years. So it's a little bit of a difference. Bruce Murray, yeah.
Just want to tell you real quick. We moved the Messi game down to
Baltimore, right at M&T.
Absolutely brilliant, and the fans and the staff and the people down there at M&T, especially because you guys, Baltimore, St. Louis, Seattle, are like you're the Mount Rushmores of soccer in this country, going all the way back to the early days. So.
Bruce, I appreciate you mentioning that. I don't think people respect how powerful the soccer community is in Baltimore and how significant it is. And, even stories like Christos from a couple years ago and the run they made in the US Open Cup, which was beautiful, and the support that we've given to indoor soccer in this city for years. Like, I know that United wants to try to work more with Baltimore moving forward, and the politicians are trying to figure that out and trying to make it happen. But, boy, there is a soccer community here that is strong, and you go show up at any of the pubs on a Saturday morning, and you'll see just how significant the soccer community is in Baltimore, man.
Absolutely.
Bruce, it's an honor. Let's do this again. I'd love to. Really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today, sir.
Love it, guys. Take care, okay?
The legendary Bruce Murray, the Hall of Famer and former USMNT striker,